Okay, so my Cubanelle pepper, I don't know if you can see, but the pollen is just falling off of this flower as I'm pollinating it. That makes me very happy. But it has decided that it is going to put out even more flowers than it's been putting out. Now, we did have a little bit of a rainstorm yesterday, and I didn't get out here, but you guys all got a beautiful video from Ember, and I didn't have to edit that much. Ugh. But I figured you all deserve an update, and I'll try and get out here after work to get you a better update of the peppers. But look at that bell pepper. Isn't that beautiful? And it has another flower that's about to open up. And all of the peppers that have been on this plant are finally starting to get larger. Yeah, look at that. It's very exciting. So, we will see how it goes. I'm still coming out here and hand pollinating the flowers because I haven't really seen many pollinators. But it makes me happy. And the jalapenos are ripening up rather nicely, despite the fact that Mr. Spidey Man, Spider Dude, has made a spider web there. And I'm going to be picking some cherry tomatoes that Anastasia's missed. But even over on this side, don't know if you can see, where it's flowered, they're just dropping their petals, and yeah. Those? Okay.
I want everything in the You can.
Well, Anna finally picked the tomatoes, but look at the size of this cucumber. And it's still growing. Because it rained last night. This one's starting to get larger. And through further research, the curving of the cucumber and the hourglass shapes could also be poor pollination, because I'm hand pollinating them and pollinators aren't doing it. As well as it could be the thrip, and I don't know what this guy is. Anna, come back here. And these cucumbers are almost ready to pick down here. You could tell by the light green lines coming off the bottom of them.
Excuse me?
So, let's go check out the mystery pepper plant. Mystery pepper plant.
Mom.
Yes, you picked tomatoes. Sorry, the mystery pepper plant is doing rather fantabulous, putting out peppers all over the place. But the one I've been monitoring the closest is down here. So, yeah. And the good news is in the tomatoes. We've got a trestle right here and another trestle starting up here. So pretty soon we'll be able to find out what these tomatoes Anastasia planted are. And just showing you that when you lop it off, it thickens up your stem and it puts out a whole bunch of new growth rapidly. Yeah. You see that? That's wonderful. So,
Mom, can I get my hands dirty?
we're gonna go inside. So, I'll see you guys after work.
Bye. Bye. Ignore me.
One of the quickest growing fruits in my garden is the cucumber. Now, I have a cucumber that is too large for the area that it's at for me to get into one shot. Yeah. And even though it's starting to put the little green stripes up here, it's still a bit skinny in the center. And the last few times I've picked them, they haven't quite been ripe. So I'm letting this wait a little bit longer in order to pick it. Now, as you know, I have some curly cucumbers as well. They are growing rather strangely to boot. Yeah. And right here, I've got two itty bitty baby cucumbers coming out at the same time, to the point where I moved this cucumber, which is a little shorter than the one I just showed you, over to the side. Yeah. And I used the vine to hold him this way, but the wind may blow him back. He goes all the way up there. As far as my other cucumbers I've been watching, they're doing okay. I mean, I got another baby here that didn't, you could tell by the yellowing at the edge and the lighter green, it didn't get pollinated. But these guys, they both got pollinated, and they're not really doing all that fantastically. They're growing pretty slow. And I'm going to assume that it's because of how many fruit I have on this plant. Because I have the two slightly larger ones down here. And then I've got the larger three right here, which I'll get to in a moment. But it keeps putting out baby cucumbers. And one of those two babies did get pollinated. I'll walk around and show you that from the other side in a moment. But how you know that they got pollinated is the tip by the flower stays green, like this one and this one, and the cucumber itself will darken up. Now this is one of the funkier shaped ones I've got growing on. It started out like this, but it started to straighten out. But it kept the curve right here and right there. Yeah. This one's pretty cool. It loops completely around. And it's actually touching each other. Don't know. And then there's this guy. Right here. Coming around one of the bigger guys. And this one here also does not have the yellowing at the front, so it did get pollinated, but I'm not sure if that tendricole is going to ruin it. And I have another one that was pollinated here and right behind it as well. But coming back down, you could tell that the tip didn't yellow on this one. This is one of the two that I showed you from behind. The other one has not flowered yet. Yeah. And this one, I don't know how it's going to thicken up. It's about touching it, just like the upper one that I showed you. So, this is my dilemma here in the cucumbers. I don't know, but zooming in, hopefully I can focus and not have to walk back around. No, I'm probably gonna have to walk back around. There we go. You see the yellowing at the tip of this one? That little bit of yellowing, and the fact that it's a lighter green, more like a yellow, that means it didn't get pollinated. So you see that you could snip it off the vine, but I stopped snipping because it was attracting bugs that want to eat the plant. So I'm just leaving them on to dry up and fall off, like that one that Ember was showing you yesterday that I can't find now. Like this, back here. That's one that didn't get pollinated. I left on to shrivel up and fall off. Simple as that. Now moving on to the finally overproductive Cubanelle pepper plant. I pollinate my flowers every time I come out here. That's just to make sure that they do go to fruit. But I've got large peppers appearing from the flower drops now. And it's making me ecstatic because I've got the one that I showed you there. I've got another one here. I've got two more, one here and one over there. And one there. And these ones are starting to get larger as well. And pretty soon, they'll be about this size. Yeah. And if I walk around, I definitely have some more. But I wanted to look at my bell pepper. Yeah, I finally have another bell pepper growing. And this one looks like it's a 3-lobe. Possibly turning into a 4th lobe. I cannot... Yeah, 4-lobe pepper, just like the last one. And the last one came from right there. That's the stem that I snipped it off of by the marigold. And back to the Cubanelle. All these little ones are where the flowers fell off recently. But when you see yellowing on them, that means that they're not going to take. Now either your plant is stressed out or it's overloaded. They just fall off. You can throw them down in the dirt. So yeah, I've got quite a bit. Too many for me to count because of the amount of leaves I gotta go through. But they're hiding in there, as you can plainly see. There's 2 right there. And hopefully, this guy here turns into a bell pepper too. But I even have more of the Cubanelles over here. They're smaller because the flowers just fell off. These were those big flowers I had the other day. Yeah. Whew. And not to mention the flowers that are opening up everywhere. And it smells like pepper. It finally smells like peppers when I come out here. Now, same thing with the jalapenos. It's overburdened, so a lot of the new flowers are turning yellow. And they will fall off. But I am still getting flowers, and I have quite a bit as far as production. And they're all starting to turn red slightly. And by red, I mean they're turning red. Yeah. This one's not fully red yet. I'm going to let it go till it's fully red, and then I'm going to pick it. And that will be as ripe as it's going to get. Speaking of red, I mean, there's a few of them starting to turn red, but that is red. But so are these cherry tomatoes. Look it! They're all starting to turn red. And they go on both sides of the bunch. Yeah. This is a very exciting day. And the beefsteaks seem to have stopped growing. Like they just halted size after those first 2 turned red. But it was trying to put out new flowers. So we'll see what happens there. But the cherry tomatoes are putting out flowers. Yeah. You remember those flowers that I was showing you this morning? They're starting to open up. So pretty soon I will be able to pollinate them. And I will be able to see what tomato it is. And the growth on these peppers over here has slowed down. That bottom one there is the big one that I've been following along, showing you. And I'm still getting flowers and more pepper growth, but the peppers themselves have stunted their growth. So, we'll see. I also wanted to show you down here, the sugar cane is starting to put out knots in the cane, so I don't know if that means it's yeah, I got little baby slugs in here, I know. Don't know if that means it's gonna start thickening up, or if that means it's gonna start ripening up, or what's going on. But, yeah. And I do have a little radish down there. Sorry, this is a jungle. This is Anna's garden. But it does smell like tomatoes. And I know we all want to see what kind of tomatoes she planted. So, we will find out eventually. Because one of them is flowering. And the one she lopped the top off of, she lopped the top off of it right here. And this little thing, that's a sucker from it. See? We got suckers all over it. We even have roots trying to come out over here. What do you know? So, yeah, this is the garden after work. And the seeds are starting to develop. Hopefully I'll be able to take some in and grow it next year. So, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Any comments, I would love to hear them. And let me know what you liked best about this, please. I'm open for a discussion. To the garden before dinner to remove this new growth so that it can actually grow without pushing on the vine. And Mr. Mantis is right here. And I startled him. So I'm not going to be doing that now. But I know we all love our Mr. Mantis. Just hanging out in the cucumbers. Having a good old time. Yeah. Think he's sleeping or waiting for something to eat. So, we'll let him go.